Hello, we're doing 71, Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon, Irish born, British. Born before Britain, before the Republic of Ireland was separated. He died after the book was written, so there's no death date. That's a picture of him by Lucian Freud in 1952. So the front picture is meant to be a bird of prey landing on a ploughed field. So I immediately find it baffling, and I find it offensive to call that a bird of prey landing on a ploughed field. There's a carcass, beef, oxen. There's an umbrella, there's a man with his teeth out, 2 more pieces of meat. It is nothing like the title. What's the point of, okay, it's figurative. What's the point of being figurative like that? None. This is a set of 3 pictures showing uncomfortable, distorted, unhappy, contorted, tortured, unhappy people, or whatever they are. They are meant to be people. And they are called Figure in the Landscape. Sorry, three studies for figures at the base of a crucifixion. So I suppose you could say they are mourning. Fair enough. That's the reason they're unhappy. 2. Figure in the Landscape, 1945. Figure, study number 2, 1945. An umbrella again, screaming face, teeth hanging out. Number 4, head, 1949. Bones, teeth, unhappiness. 5, study for a crouching nude, 1952. You can see a cleverly painted thing, well painted, interesting, colourful, translucent. And I quite like it. 6, 2 figures, 1953. An important small group of paintings. I think it's totally unimportant and hideous. Totally. 7, baboon. Translucent slightly as well, like the previous 2. So what? It's a baboon. So what? 8, study for a portrait. It's got the hallmark, trademark characteristic, toothy grin. This one here is Pope, painted by Velasquez. He's ripping this picture off, this earlier picture. Then it shows a Pope who is screaming with his teeth out in the characteristic trademark grin. This one, 10. Study for portrait, 1962. I think that one is inventive. I think the couch is lovely. I think the colours are good. I think the legs are clever. I think the face is clever. I think if you saw that, you would know it's Francis Bacon, and that's, in that respect, I like it quite a lot. 11. This is another Pope picture. He's using the cardinal red as a colour, and he is trying to portray the Pope. 3 studies for a crucifixion. 3 studies for a crucifixion. And he talks about slaughterhouses and the smell of death, which I can understand. If you look at the word carnal, which relates to flesh and lust, means meat. Carne is meat. And if you look at the word incarnate, it goes back to the etymology of flesh and meat. Okay, 13. Study for Three Heads, 1962. They're not nice things to look at in my view. I think they're ugly as hell. That was the intention, for sure, that's the result. 14. Drug taker with a needle. So he was around in London, hanging around, doing his thing, and he's commentating on society. 15. Woman emptying bowl of water and paralytic child on all fours. Paralytic child, doesn't say paralysed, it says paralytic. 16. Portrait of George Dyer crouching. The circular settee is meant to show claustrophobia. It's a clever thing, I think, but is it a nice thing? I don't know. So this bacon stuff is for a certain type of collector. It is commercially very, very popular and expensive, and it has got devotees. But as it's something to have aesthetically, I think it is close to zero in its aesthetic appeal. I think it is social commentating, and I think a lot of them are, as I say, artistic stunts. That's my understanding. I don't mind if I'm mistaken. I don't mind admitting I don't understand it if that is what anyone thinks, but I don't want any of it. I think it's horrible. Okay, we've done Francis Bacon.